Yo, what's going on, everyone? Dan the Glassman here, and we are about to go on a quick little road trip here. We're gonna go fill our water tank up, and we're gonna go find out: are we running out of water? Well, I know today we're not running out of water. I know we're not running out of water anytime soon. I actually know we're not ever gonna run out of water, but I know that our clean drinking water supplies are diminishing. So that's a huge difference. When people talk about, are we going to be running out of water? They're talking about the clean drinking supplies, and they're talking about the supplies that help create hydroelectric generation, hydro plants. We're using water through the dams. Right now, the dams aren't working. So I don't know if you guys pay attention to anything going on with Lake Mead and Lake Powell and all that stuff. But there is a lot going on, you guys. There's so many different videos out there. There's a lot of different channels. I've been watching the Sin City Outdoors with the team, the father and son duo, and sometimes they bring out their cousin. And then there's the other gentleman that I watch from time to time, and that's Joey from Vegas D-Tech. And so those are a couple channels that I've been watching and paying attention to, because they go out to the lake, to Lake Mead, and they actually do check out what's going on the situation live. So we're about to drive over to the water, and we're just going to get it filled. I know that we're not running out of water here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but Las Vegas, New Mexico. So I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Las Vegas, New Mexico, they are really running out of water soon. Now, I know that we get rains. So, the whole, it's really just a matter of perspective on how you look at things. For me, the way I look at it, we have an infinite source of water. The water that we've had here on Earth has been here since time immemorial, and it hasn't gone away unless they are actually shipping things out outside of the atmosphere and off the planet. And that's the only way that I could actually see water being removed, and that we actually are running out of water on this earth. But as far as us running out of water, we have oceans full of water. Here, let's get going. So we have an abundance, oceans and oceans worth of water, right, guys? We have so much water that there is so much water. Even the floods that we're getting in Las Vegas, they're just dropping water all over the place. There's just so much. And there's floods everywhere, guys. So how can we say that we're running out of water when at the same time we have an abundance of floods everywhere? I'm talking everywhere in all the different states. I don't know if all 50 states have been hit yet, but I know New Mexico's been hit. I know California. I know Arizona, Nevada, Utah. As Washington, I'm pretty sure Washington's probably been hit. Oregon. That's one thing is I don't know if Oregon's, I haven't really paid much attention to Oregon or Washington. Are they actually getting hit with any floods, or is it just normal there? So, the way I see it, we have an abundant source of water, that there is no way that we could ever run out of water. But I do know we can run out of our clean drinking water supply. And so if you understand the mathematics of it all, there's on the water, we have 70% of the mass of the earth is water, right? 70% of it's water, the rest of it's land, right? It's just like our bodies. Our bodies, we basically are like 70% water, and then the rest of us is just matter, And then on a cellular level, we're even closer to 90% water. So we're even more water on a cellular level. So when we have 70% of the earth is all water, but yet only 3% of that is actually not ocean water, but fresh water. There's 3% of the ocean is fresh water. And then of that 3%, there's barely anything. It's like 0.03% of it is actually drinking water. So the water that we're fighting over these days, and it is going to be a fight, we are going to be going to war over water very soon, guys. The future wars are going to be fought over water. You know that whole movie Waterworld? That was just a premonition of what's to come. Where we'll have too much water. We'll have an abundance of ocean water, but yet not enough drinking water. You know, and you have to figure out how to desalinate it, how to put it through those contraptions like I forget what his character's name was on the movie, but and I can't even think of his actor name either. But you know, the guy of Braveheart, he's in Waterworld, Mel Gibson. So you know, when Gibson was acting in that movie, you know, he had to urinate in this contraption, and he would have to collect his urine, and that's where we're going to be going to soon, guys. That we're going to have to be collecting as much moisture as we possibly can. And one of the things right now that they're saying is that you cannot collect the rainwater anymore. They say that the rainwater is dangerous, it's poisonous, it has all these PFAS, the forever chemicals, the PFAS, I don't know how you want to say it, but PFAS. These are forever chemicals, and these are chemicals that me and Serena know about, my wife Serena. We talk about people, we educate people all the time on these PFAS and how these forever chemicals, they are getting into the environment. Now, what they are now claiming is that these forever chemicals are now in the rainwater because in remote areas of the world, they say they've taken samples of rainwater from different areas that are very isolated. No one should be there, right? Well, if no one should be there, then why are these people there? You know, like, okay, if you guys set up camp and things like that to go get samples, maybe you guys brought those forever chemicals with you. Oh, excuse me. Let me drink some water here. While we're talking about water, make sure you drink plenty of water. Water is life and every drop counts. So they're telling us now that these PFAS, the PFAS forever chemicals, are now in rainwater in these isolated areas. But if they're isolated and no one's supposed to be there, how are they getting the samples? You know, they have to be setting up camp. At some point, maybe they got generators running for their electricity to run their computers and things. And maybe those are the forever chemicals that they're picking up. They're like, oh, we have minuscule particulates. Like, you know, they don't really tell you all the information of what they're going on. You know, it's like that guy Gates promoting years ago that book, How to Lie with Statistics. It teaches you how to lie with statistics, how to use truth information that's been put out there, and then to present it in a way that it basically like argues itself. So then you can prove whatever theory you want to prove. You know, if you want people to believe the leprechauns are real, well, all you got to do is get the amount of numbers of people that have actually said they have sightings of leprechauns. And you put those numbers together against people who maybe haven't seen them. And you get more people in that survey of people who've seen leprechauns and people who haven't, you know? And you lie with statistics and you make it real. Now, I'm not trying to say the leprechauns aren't real, because some people believe in them. But what I'm saying is that you can easily lie with statistics if you know how. And Gates had a book promotion, and he was endorsing his books. You know, he has a list of books he endorses every summer. You know, people like to hear what his brain is collecting. What kind of information are these people reading about, you know? And so I'm going to just shut off the car here. We're at the lovely Watermill Express, watermillexpress.com. I'll just give them a little promotion. I don't know why. We get our water from here. They supposedly have a 12-step water perfection program, not purification. I never even read that right. A 12-step water perfection program. That's interesting. So they do something with UV lighting and all this stuff. I don't know. To me, it's tap water that's been filtered. We run it through a filter again. We make sure to try to remove as much of those forever chemicals as we possibly can. So, like I was saying, my wife and I, we have been educating individuals on these forever chemicals. We endorse the Norwex product. You know, we got, like, there's a face mask there. I've been having to go to the hospital to see my father. Well, not recently, but in last week or so. And then there's oh, dang, look at that thing. That thing's getting all chopped up. I'm putting that one to good use. We got that Norwex. We got this Norwex. These are all towels that use water. They're embedded with silver. So that way we can remove ourselves from using all these chemicals. So people are talking about that we can't use the rainwater anymore. But, you know, when I use rainwater for my plants look fine. They look healthy. I know that over time, if you continue to take in all those forever chemicals, you will produce carcinogens, or you'll get cancer basically in your body. But also, the way people eat, they'll develop cancer. So unless you're actually trying to live a sustainable life to where you're living a more alkaline diet and drinking only water, you don't even drink coffee, no teas, no juices, nothing. Just, you know, you just drink water and you eat organics, you eat food off the plant. You know, instead of like from farm to table, it's basically from plant to mouth. You know, like when you just do that, eat raw foods, that's when you're really like trying not to inundate yourself with any kind of chemicals or any pollution. But other than that, we live in a world where we drive. I'm driving right now, right? Driving around. We're putting out all these emissions everywhere. We're putting out these forever chemicals all the time. We're driving inside. The air that's coming out the vents, it's coming through your engine compartment and blowing right through. And so, you know, what do you think? You just gonna they're gonna say you can't collect rainwater now. Why are they saying that, guys? It's because what's happening with the water situation. So I don't know if anyone has talked to you guys about this yet. Do you know, are you guys aware that water has become a tradable commodity on the stock exchange? They did this about 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, where they finalized this. They legally changed water to become from a natural resource to a tradable commodity. It no longer is God's water, guys, and now it's man's water. The business aspect of humans have figured out how to control it, right? He who controls the food supply, he who controls the water supply, controls the world. Pay attention to what's going on, guys. So this is what's really happening, is that there are a lot of individuals who have come together. They have conspired together to figure out how to own, how to buy, how to make it purchasable and tradable, how to make it a commodity, an exchangeable commodity, a tradable commodity on the stock exchange. Now, you and I, we can also get in on this game too. I mean, it's early, and the getting's good right now. I mean, if you want to make money on a natural resource, which is, you know, it's not God's way, it's not the right way, it's not how we should be doing things, But then again, how else are we doing anything, you know? If we if we really wanted to live in a pure way, we truly get our heads out of our butts and really start to pay attention and become more conscious, but we're not. So they're trying to sell us on this fear. They're fear mongering us, saying we're running out of water. Oh no, there's only 30 days of water in Las Vegas, New Mexico. 30 days of water supply, right? 30 days of water. We're going to be out in a month here in New Mexico, in Las Vegas. Why can't they simply get water from Santa Fe? Why can't they get water elsewhere? What is going on? How come other counties aren't coming together to go help out this county here? I think it might be Sandoval County, but it's the city of Las Vegas, New Mexico, not Las Vegas, Nevada. A lot of people are seeing these reports. I know the guys from Sin City Outdoors were talking about these reports and how a lot of people were worried in Vegas, Sin City, Vegas, that, oh no, we only have 30 days of water. You better save it. Only get a sip. Everyone get one sip. Here, pass it around. That's what's going to be going on. We're going to have to be saving our water, conserving it, and hopefully sharing it. I mean, people are going to be, of course, they're hoarding. So, now that you know that water is a tradable commodity on the stock exchange, you can make money off of it. It's now profitable. Let's look back further. So this only happened a few years ago. When you set your hands, you got your cards on the table and you get your hand, and you're waiting for something. You're waiting for the cards to fall just right. Or you set it up, right? You set up the deck just right. So now what they've done is that the elite has set up a deck just right to where they have gotten this drought, global warming. Oh no, fear mongering. So we're going through global warming, right? Like, oh, big deal. What's really happening is that there are entities like HARP. There are things like chemtrails, aerosol canvassing, weather modification, weather manipulation, cloud seeding. There's all this stuff that's going on. And a lot of people will say that it's just a bunch of us conspiring with these theories, right? But it's not that. What it is that there's a lot of individuals, groups of elite who are actually conspiring. They're getting together behind rooms, behind curtains, and they're making plans for the whole world. And so they made plans to create this thing called supply and demand, where if you have something that's in high demand, okay? Let's say what's the one thing that sustains life in the most highest of demands? Water. If you can get the one thing that's in the highest of demands, right? Water. If you can shorten or lessen that supply, the demand goes up, right? Now, if you have your money, your chips, your table, your cards on the table, chips on the table, and you're playing your cards just right, you will understand that they've basically been setting themselves up in order to get rich on this whole water crisis, this whole drought situation. So if you pay attention to what's going on with different states, for many, many years now, for, I don't know, decades now, Nestle, Niagara, Coca-Cola, they've all come into many states and many countries around the world, and they've basically been pumping out water. They've been taking our water out, without permits. Sometimes they get permits. California gave them a permit, $800 permit, to go on ahead and pump out millions, if not billions of gallons of water from their California supply while they're in a drought. But let's not worry about the agriculture. Let's not worry about the people and their drinking water. Let's not worry about the fact that Lake Mead and Lake Powell is getting pumped now. Or maybe it's not getting pumped dry, but it's actually being purposefully drained. that they're basically just purging the dams, they're purging the reservoirs, they're purging the water. So also in California, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, they sanctioned California to release 75% of the deltas, the river's delta, which is a huge portion of their water supply. I mean, Southern California used to get 70% of their drinking water from the river's delta. And now if 75% of that water is getting purged back to the ocean to save a bunch of fish, let's not worry about the people or the agriculture. Let's just save a bunch of fish. Then if you're not paying attention to what's going on, EPA is sanctioned this. Simpsons talked about the EPA coming in, right? Putting a dome over you all, closing you in. Truth is always hidden in fiction, guys. Always is. So what's happening is EPA has sanctioned California to purge all their water out. Lake Powell, Lake Mead, they're purging their water. Lake Powell's already got a side drain. So they're talking about allowing the river to flow naturally once again, that the water, they're not going to have enough water in the reservoir to use it as a power generation station. Isn't that amazing? After all these years, all these decades, we finally run out of water, and we will no longer be using hydroelectricity. Isn't hydroelectricity part of the green plan for this whole global warming and to help us get out of this and go into a sustainable future with alternative energy? Isn't water, hydroelectric, shouldn't that be free energy? Well, what they're doing is they're removing the supply. Just like they've removed the supply of water, they've been purging it, they've been allowing people to pump it out. They've been getting as much water out off of the surface land and putting it back into the ocean. They're simply just wiping out all of our fresh water from the surface, the 3% of the fresh water that's on the planet. They're removing as much of the 3% of the fresh water on the surface of the planet and purging it back to the ocean to resalinate it, to turn it back into salt water. So then they can then sell us on the new future generation of energy. Desalination plants using hydrogen fuel. Hydrogen's going to take a lot of water, and these companies need to make sure that they have plenty of water, plenty of supply, in order to create the wealth that they want to create for themselves, for their business, for their companies. There's a lot of large companies that are moving out in the desert. Why are they moving out in the desert? There's no water out there. What do they know that we don't? Did you guys see that video when they had the floods out there in the Mojave Desert? And then there were these basically drain holes, at least 2, maybe 3 drain holes. It was just sucking all that water up from the desert. Where is it going? Where is it going? All these large corporations going out in the desert, Mojave Desert area, all out there. And then this water just magically is sucked up down underneath. They've figured out how to purge our fresh water off the surface back to the ocean, turning it into salt water, which for some people don't know how to easily convert it to drinking water, which I'm going to show you a very simple technique on using a pan with a bundt cake pan and a lid. Real simple. 3 items that you need. Everyone can afford under $20, and it can supply you as much drinking water as you'll need for this this apocalypse that we're about to face and endure together soon. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, everyone knows now. I've explained it to you as easily, as simply as possible. They've turned water from a natural resource into a tradable commodity. It's now worth tons of money. There's so much water on the planet. They figured out how to basically, they're like milking the cow. The cow never dies. It's the ocean. They're milking the ocean for water for forever. They're going to figure out how to desalinate it. They're going to sell us on desalination plants. They're going to sell us on hydrogen fuel cells. They're going to sell us on all these new batteries and all this new tech and everything that's coming up. And they're making sure that the water supply is getting depleted and diminished right now. So many people don't know how to collect water. And they're saying that we can't collect any rainwater right now. They're scaring us with the PFAS, the PFAS, the forever chemicals. They're saying that they're in all the rainwater because they found samples out in the middle of nowhere. But yet they were out in the middle of nowhere. So they had to have set up camp. So they probably brought their own pollution with them. And those are the numbers that they're then they're line with statistics in order to get their narrative projected in the right way so they can scare everyone. So they're telling everyone not to collect rainwater. Why? Because rainwater is distilled. It's basically going through the natural process of evaporation, cleansing the water. I know that they put chemicals up in the trails, up in the sky, and that rainwater does collect those. I do know that. But I do know that there's micron filters and you can remove that stuff. So we need to figure out what the micron size particulates of this pollution of the forever chemicals. We need to figure out what these micron sized particles are, how big they are, how small they are, and what filters that we can use. I know that they do have graphene technology, Bucky paper. I've been researching this for many years. I mean, way back in 2013, I was talking about hemp graphene and how hemp graphene is going to be a lot better, a lot more powerful, a lot more affordable to produce than the petroleum-based graphene technology that they're working on now. So when people are researching this information, and this is stuff from 10 years ago that I was talking about with the Bucky paper and graphene tech and how, the hemp batteries are going to change the world. But, that ain't going to come. Yes, I talk about a lot of stuff. I've mentioned a lot of things like this is going to happen and this is going to happen, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. It means that they're placing their baby steps right now for it to eventually happen, It's like if you understand back in the 80s, we used to have the 8-track. Well, in the 70s, they had the 8-tracks, and before that they had the reel-to-reels. They put them to the 8-tracks, and then they figured out how to make these little cassette tapes, right? And then they even figured out how to put information onto a disc. They had these things called laser disc players back in the day. They were about as big as records. They were huge. And you'd put them in, they'd slide in. There's these big old record players that were digital, and they'd play movies. I watched Cujo on that way back in the 80s, long time ago. And so they decided to roll that technology back. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're getting a little too ahead of ourselves here. We still got to come out with the beta tapes and the VHS. So there was beta and there was VHS. Remember that? Beta and VHS tapes. We had the little micro tapes that were like tiny, and then they had the bigger VHS tapes. And so they're like, wait, we have time. We have years to make profits off of this product right now. Don't roll out the laser disc. And so then they rolled it back. They pulled it out. People didn't really know about the laser disc players. And throughout the 80s, everyone was getting into their, their Walkmans. Yeah. And then finally they came out with the compact disc, and they had the Discmans, right? But for a long time, they were selling us on those betas and VHS tapes when they already had laser technology out, laser disc technology. So, yes, I'm telling you that this is all going to happen. They're going to sell us on desalination. They're going to sell us on hydrogen fuel cells and hydrogen fuel. If you are innovative enough, if you're wise enough to look into this information and research it yourself, you can figure out a lot on your own. You know, you can desalinate, you can easily boil water and collect the steam in order to collect clean drinking water. You know, you can easily learn how to get um, put. I'm not even gonna mention anything because I don't want anyone to hurt themselves. But how to basically make an HHO generator. There's plenty of videos online on how to make an HHO generator and how to take hydrogen, separating hydrogen from oxygen, basically separating those two from water, taking those out from water. If water is an abundant source and we can do hydrogen from salt water, or if we have to desalinate it first and then run it through, uh, he who owns the water and he who owns an abundance of stock in water will have the say in the world. So if you want to have any say in the world and you don't want to run out of water, then you would definitely be investing in it. Now, Joey from Vegas D-Tech, Joey Vegas D-Tech. So the first time I ever watched his video, I was turned off by him. I was turned off by it because he was talking about how, in a way of pointing fingers out at all the other states and not really looking at himself and not blaming himself. And I'm thinking, dude, you're a resident of Vegas, of Sin City, where they have how many casinos running, how many fountains, and they have so much water and all this hospitality services. They need water. I mean, laundry needs water. You need all these drinks, all this beer being made with water. You know, all kinds of stuff is being made with water. You know, how much water do you need to distill for alcohol? You need water. Water is life. I mean, Nestle wouldn't be able to survive if it weren't for water, right? Like, water is extremely important. And when he was talking about how is everyone else, California, he's always pointing a finger at California, saying, oh, well, we don't need all this agriculture and we don't need all of this alfalfa. He's talking about the alfalfa crops in California and how California is taking 80% of the water. And it's like, well, dude, you guys are right there at the source. You're at the headwaters right there. So you guys have plenty of water. You know, there was someone on a video recently who travels all around camping and stuff. He said that one of the easiest places to get an abundance of water was in Utah. I was like, what? Utah? Where they have Salt Lake City? I was like, oh, wait, Salt Lake City. That place used to be underwater. They probably got a whole bunch of water underneath the ground, right? Tons of water. So they're not worried about only getting the 2%. The elite is not worried about Nevada getting only 2%, you know, and wherever Utah is getting it. I don't know like how it's all going, but I know 80% is going to California, and a lot of the water is going down below Las Vegas into Arizona, into California, and into New Mexico, and also to Mexico as well. We have to send them their water too. The thing is this used to be a God-given resource. And the people used to rely upon God, not upon man's laws to restrict them. Oh, we only get this little here. You get this bit of water, and you get this little bit of water, and here you get a ton of water, because you, my friend, you bought me my big old mansion, and you got me my yachts, and you got me my private planes. You, my friend, you get here. Take some more here. Have my own personal drinking water. Here, have it. You. All the water that you want, sir, but everyone else, no. So that's the thing right now is Joey from Vegas D-Tech, he turned me off at first because he was talking about pointing fingers and he's been a resident of Vegas his whole life, and I'm like, well, dude, you've been part of the problem your whole life, living in a desert and pulling this water, right? And then he started to do some investigative reporting and research. And I was like, oh, this guy's actually going into it. I really got into him at that point. So then Joey started going in and talking about how was it Lake Vegas, and the residents of Lake Vegas were pulling so much water, and that they bought a ginormous proportion of water in this last year, even though Lake Mead is going like this, boom, down about a foot a day, foot a week, whatever it is. It's still ridiculous, whatever it is. So he was pointing out how Lake Vegas, they got all this water, and they're out in the middle of nowhere, and it's a bunch of rich people who can afford to be out there apparently. And so he was pointing fingers. They're like, "Oh no, you can't tell us that we're to blame because we're not the reason. We use all reclaimed water." Then he found out that was a bunch of BS, and that he sorry, I just look around right here because I'm in a parking lot where there's always a bunch of like random people walking around asking for money and things like that. I'm just trying not to get approached right now. There's like someone walking towards me right now. And so I was basically telling him, or I wasn't telling him, he was telling us that they actually pulled so much water, that they purchased so much water from Lake Mead in order to overfill what they normally get, because they know that the water supply is going down. Now, this was when the Lake Mead was up at its 1,000 something. Once it reached, I think it was like 1040, 1080 maybe, 1080, 1040. That was when the first pipes went dry. I think there's three intakes. So the first pipes went dry, and then it went down to the second pipes, I believe, was around 930, 940. And right before that level reached to where those pipes went dry, what was it called? Lake Las Vegas. They purchased so much water. So they actually helped to even bring it down even more, that much more. And they got called out, they got found guilty of actually taking that water and paying for it. So bunch of liars, bunch of rich liars, whatever. They can afford it for now. Now they can't get no more water though, because now that second intake is so far gone. They're gonna have to figure out how to install their own pipe to somewhere else or whatever's to get more water from somewhere else. I don't know. So now the Lake Mead is going down even further. And once it gets to that third intake level, then Las Vegas won't be able to pump any more water either. Now, Joey from Vegas D-Tech, he found out some interesting information. Well, the news found out some interesting information, and he just basically relayed it to us and put a link below on the video, which I'll try to put that same link down below on this video, and it shows the water usage and all the corporations that use billions of gallons per month or per year or whatever, right? But not only that, it's showing residential property using billions of gallons of water. I'm just like, wait, most people only use about 2,000 or 3,000 gallons of water per month, give or take. Some of us use a lot less, about 800. And so, if it's only 1,000, 2,000 a month, let's just say 10,000 a month, for the year, that's only 120,000. Why are they pumping billions? So you got some rich people, and I haven't seen the list just yet, and I'm wondering who's on there. He did mention that David Copperfield used to be on that list, but he's no longer on that top 10 list. He's now like top 50 or whatever. And so when he got called out, when David Copperfield, the magician, got called out, he magically changed his ways. He started conserving water, which is awesome. And he changed it up to where now he's like, instead of being top 10, he's now top 50. He's like way down on the bottom of the list, but he's still pulling lots of water. What I'm wondering is, did this elite group of individuals and rich individuals and these celebrities and people, did they get informed? Have they just been paying attention to what's going on? Are they giving some sort of like newsletter, like, hey guys, coming in, if you don't start collecting as much rainwater as you possibly can, or any kind of water as you possibly can right now, and use it, and use, like, where, how are they using billions of gallons of water on a residential area? Like, where is this water going? Do they have a vertical grow operation that they're growing like tons of cannabis, or what? Like, what is going on? Why? And that's another thing, is the cannabis industry is also, they've allowed so many people to start growing. They're like, heck yeah, this is going to help deplete the water supply. It's going to help boost our demand situation. The demand's going to go up, supply is going down, money's going to go, boom, 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 making money. So are we really running out of water, guys? No, we're never going to run out of water. We're just going to run out of clean drinking water, of fresh drinking water. We're not going to have the supply. I'm paying 25 cents a gallon right now. It's going to go up to $1. I know it will. It'll be $1 at these places soon, and the water in the stores will be $3 or $5 a gallon. You know, they're $1 now, but then people will go out of their way and they'll buy these little bottles here for like $1 or $2, instead of going to a place where you can get this 5 gallons filled for $1.25. So you spend more on this, which is in wasteful plastic, than you would to go get water filled up. You know, and I got 10 gallons that I'm going to fill up right now. I'm going to spend $2.50. I could sell one of these bottles for $2 to $3. I know that because I've done it. So the thing is if you understand the rule of supply and demand, and you understand what it's all about, you will know we're never going to run out of water, guys. We're never going to run out of water. It's just going to be a little bit more expensive to get. They're letting the supplies run low, so the demand runs high. You guys pay attention to what's going on. Please pay attention. I know you guys ain't that ignorant, right? Especially when we're giving you the information. We're doing the legwork for you. We're doing the research for you, right? We're letting y'all know. Now, the other day I was watching Sin City Outdoors. So thanks to Joey from Vegas D-Tech for the informative reporting, for giving us that list. And I'll put that list down below. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate it. And also Sin City Outdoors, they were out there recently. They were talking about how the water's gone up about 2 feet. Woohoo, 2 feet. But weren't they also just reporting how the water just went down like a foot a day? So we saved ourselves 2 days of water drainage, I guess. And maybe that's a gallon a week. So let's say if it's not 2 days, then it's 2 weeks we've saved ourselves, right? So that's the illusion, right? The water is going out more than it's filling up in the reservoirs. Sin City Outdoors senior, he actually said, he stated in one of the videos, when they were down low, they were fishing for, I don't know what it was. I don't fish, so I'm sorry, I'm not a fisherman. I don't remember what they were talking about, but they were these big fish. They're talking about the trophy winning fish, that if they're not this big, if they're only like this, they throw them back in, so that way they can become an award-winning fish. They let them grow. So Sin City Outdoors senior and junior, you guys are awesome. You guys, I've actually watched you guys clean up the water in the last video. You're taking that glass bottle out of the water. You guys helped that individual with his boat that was stuck on that land, on that barge, and he had his whole mess out there. Like, yeah, he ain't a water protector, but you guys, junior and senior from Sin City Outdoors, you guys are water protectors in my book. You guys, definitely, I'm sending you guys a drop of water. We'll make sure that you guys definitely get the drop of water. Not on turquoise. That's a little bit nice of a gift. But we'll make sure that you guys get one on the cord here. And because you guys are water protectors in my book. And I really appreciate you guys cleaning up that water, taking out that glass from the water there, picking up the trash after his houseboat was saved. You know, he didn't even worry or care about that stuff. He just left it out there. you know. And you guys were nice. You guys were polite about it. I would have been like, here, man, take your freaking trash. Like, what the heck, man? We just saved your ass. And then you just leave this? Like, dude, don't be gross. That's why you got that's why you got placed in that predicament in the first place. You ain't conscious minded enough. That's what I think, though. That's, karma, right? Get you. It's gonna get him again because he left his trash. But thank you, senior and junior. I don't even know you guys' names, but thank you guys, junior and senior from Sin City Outdoors, for going out there and cleaning up that water, and also presenting us with some really awesome, like almost day to day kind of situations. You guys were already there. You were on the scene, on the story, on the lake already fishing, and you guys just realized, hey, this water is dropping. It's dropping a lot. We should probably document this. And now you guys have documented history. You guys are part of the history makers, or at least document and helping to keep track of what's really been going on, so we can really see, in hindsight, once all this is over, or and it's not ever all going to be over, but once we get to a point where things kind of change and we realize, oh yeah, they were just purging it, and they were just selling us on this stuff, and they were just trying to get us to buy their bottled water and all this stuff. Once we finally realize that, we can come to some sort of revolution with conscious-minded individuals, and maybe we can actually change this planet to something better. All of this technology that they're trying to force us into, they're going to sell us on, but we can do it all ourselves, and we can basically skip them, skip the middleman, and go directly to the source. Just go get some solar panels, learn how to simply hook it up to a solar a control panel, and then a battery. It's really easy. It's really simple. Or ask someone to do it. Hire someone like me to come and help you out, set some things up, get yourself a garden growing, get yourself some compost growing. If you're gonna xeriscape to save water and conserve water, I would make sure you plant trees too that are native and low water maintenance. Because without the shade, all you're doing is creating more heat, and you're creating more environment for evaporation. That heat, the rocks, all you're doing is evaporating your water source, your groundwater, from your area. So that's one thing too that I think is that the xeriscaping ploy was really to get everyone to help with drying out the fresh water, the surface water on our planet. So anyone who xeriscapes, I would highly recommend not. If you got grass growing, but it's just like in patches, and you're just like, oh, it doesn't look pretty enough, whatever, just let it be. It's growing naturally. It's a part of nature. Let it be. Nature will take care of itself. Just let it be, let it grow. I get it. If you got dogs, you don't want foxtails, or cats. If you got animals, you don't want foxtails. If you got kids, you don't want goat heads, and dogs and pets too. You don't want them thorny plants. You don't want them thorn plants. So yeah, remove those, but keep the ones that are okay, or teach people not to hurt themselves around those thorny plants. That's one thing that I noticed is the xeriscaped yards, they grow the thorny plants. And the yards that are lush and green, they just grow other plants. They're good for gardening. They have really good soil. Their soil is mature. It's rich. It's full of nutrient. It's not just depleted and dry and just like arid, and to where like it becomes caliche, it becomes clay. When you xeriscape your yard, all you're doing is you're turning your yard into hard rock and clay. You won't be able to grow. You'll have to till it. You have to do so much more work. A lot of people, they mow their lawn and then they let their grass clippings go in a bag instead of mulching in place. That nitrogen will make your grass a lot greener than these people who try to rake it up. And I don't know, it's like they're trying to comb their hair out to grow more. It's like all you're doing is you're combing your hair out. You're just raking your grass out. Like, leave it, let it mulch in place. It'll be richer, thicker, fuller. But yeah, so Zeroscape is not good in my opinion. Also, making sure that you know how to filter your water. We're gonna have to learn how to filter your rainwater. So I'll be doing some videos on water filtration. I think I already have. I will show you how to make that simple contraption, which I would like to actually make a bunch of kits and just start selling them to and that way you guys don't even have to worry about going out and finding them, and just ship it right to your door and bam, it's there. And you guys can start converting any nasty water, salt water, rainwater into clean drinkable water. um, but remember guys, water's not going anywhere. We got 70% water on this planet, and it's not going anywhere unless they're actually going to try to ship it. But you know how many how many Elon Musk rockets that's gonna take? It's like, all right, we're gonna go fill up Lake Mead with a bunch of syringes. When you really think about the reality of the illusion of what they're trying to fearmonger you into, guys, it's comical. It's hilarious, right? So just pay attention to what's really going on. Take care of what's happening at your home and your family. Make sure you have plenty of clean drinking water. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Don't drink too much of that other crap. If you're drinking sodas, you're helping. There's a lot of water protectors who drink a lot of them Coca-Cola brand products and Nestle products and Niagara products and all those products, all these water protectors that, hey, we're fighting the bully over here. And then they're going over there like, hey, you want my lunch money? Here, can I have some Coke? Can I have some of your Coke, please? I gotta have a sip. Here, I'll give you all my lunch money. You guys pay attention to what's really going on. I'm gonna go fill up my jugs of water, make sure we have plenty of water for the week. That's one thing I'm trying to figure out is how much drinking water we've been going through. I think I fill these up about once a week. So it's 10 gallons of drinking water once a week. That ain't too bad, guys. 10 gallons for a family of three, sometimes four. So I guess we call it 3.5, because I share time with my daughter, with her mother. So she's not always there, so she's not always drinking water. But when she's there, she drinks only water. So she drinks plenty of water. I don't know what else I wanted to share with you guys. There was a couple other things. Oh, the floods. That's the other things. So we got plenty of evaporation and water drainage going. But where's that water going? You guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but as this earth is heating up, and like I said, your xeriscaping is just helping to evaporate the water. All you're doing is helping to collect that water up into the clouds, and now it's dumping. Now, whether this has to do with weather manipulation or modification or not, has to do with HARP or not, or anything like that, global calm or anything, it is what it is. And the rain waters, the clouds are dropping, the rain's fierce in places that aren't prepared, aren't ready. I'm curious if Albuquerque, it's where I live, where we're at right now. We're just right here off of San Mateo and Zuni. Gas price is $3.65, which is weird because I watched it drop down to $3.23. I was like, okay, it's going to get about to $3.25 and it's going to go up. And right away, bam, it went up to $3.78. And I was like, oh, it's going to go on its hike again. So I refilled it. Next day, it went down to $3.68. I was like, wait, you guys tricked me. You guys tricked a bunch of us. We all went and filled our gas when it went back up to $3.78. Now it's down to $3.65. It's going to keep trickling down a little bit. This time, I don't think it's going to get down to $3.25 or $3.23. It's probably going to get to about $3.33. And then go back up again for the fall, for balloon fiestas coming up, state fairs coming up. We have Thanksgiving travel time coming up and Christmas travel time coming up. So all those months definitely, or all those seasons, holidays, we always have a hike in gas prices. So it should be dropping a little bit. I'd say to about 330, 333, and then it'll go up again. If it drops under 323, I'll be really shocked and surprised. And gas and water, it does go hand in hand. I do pay attention and I watch what's going on with the water, with the oil, with petroleum, with the hydrogen fuel cells, with desalination projects, with I learned that what is it, aluminum and nickel? Yep, aluminum and nickel are about to rise in price because they figured out that using aluminum and nickel helps the desalination process a lot quicker. So they can get clean drinking water a lot quicker by using nickel and aluminum. And so those are going to go up. Keep your nickels, guys. These are actually made out of nickel compared to pennies aren't made out of real copper. Dimes, unless you can find a silver dime, silver quarter, silver penny. Did they ever make a silver penny? No. They made those tin ones though, or whatever. But what else I gotta say? I don't know. Keep paying attention to what's really going on. We're not going to run out of water, but we are going to run out of our clean drinking water sources. So if you guys can stock up on rainwater, if it's illegal in your area, I'm sure there are ways around it. I've heard of people burying their rain barrels so you can't see them above ground. So if the water authority ever drives by, they're not going to go knocking door to door. They don't got the manpower and the time to do that. But if they drive by and they see you got a bright blue rain barrel right there at the corner of your house, they're going to fine you. You might get arrested. You might go to prison. I don't know what the laws are for that. But if your life is worth it, I would collect as much rainwater as you need to sustain life. So with that being said, remember, water is life. Every drop counts. We are all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. So we all count. You count. I count. We all count. We're all drops of water. We all count. Water is life. Every drop counts. I'll see you guys soon. Much love and blessings. I'm going to let you all go. Make sure you drink plenty of good drinking water. Filtrations. Get Berkey filter, live straw, Sawyer straw. We use Nikin at home. There's also the Kangen, but the Kangen uses electricity. There's ways to use activated charcoal, sand. There's a new sand that I just learned about, and I'm trying to remember what it is, but it's basically like a rich carbon sand that they get deep from the earth. And that sand actually helps with cleaning the water even better. So we need to get that sand and learn how to make natural water filters. So I'll be coming to you live again, and we'll be teaching you how to do some stuff like that. My name is Dan the Glass Man. This is the Glass Man's World. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what I'm bringing you, then be sure to hit that like button. And if you want more of this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. Please share it out so we can educate and inform others as well. And yeah, share it out. Even if this information ain't for you, it may be for others, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your children. They might love you for it. So thank you so much for watching. Much love, many blessings. We'll see you soon. Let's go fill up the water.